this shows up on that take-home quiz, and it shows up on the AC that I gave you as well. And if you're missing those, come and see me later. I will give you a paper copy if you weren't here. So here we go. This is new on page 36. COVID symptoms last 7 days on average with a standard deviation of 0.5 days. Okay, so there's your average, there's your standard deviation. If the durations of the symptoms is normally distributed, determine the middle 80% of cases last between this and this many days. Okay? So make sure you pay attention to this one. If it's talking about the middle 80%, we know that this is symmetric. So we're kind of thinking, make this chunk it up into like a center portion. And we are given that that's 80%. Okay? That's what we know. So the question is asking that the number of cases will be between here, between this x value and this x value here. That's another question mark. That is what this question is all about. Figure out this x value and that x value. Okay? Now, with the 80% given, what is the percentage underneath the entire curve always? It's 100%, right? So what we will do is we'll go 100% minus 80%. That leaves us with 20%. Okay? 20% is the section that is in this side, on the left side of this line, and on the right side. It's 20% combined. Okay? Got to understand that. So what are we going to do to figure out how much goes in each section? We're just simply going to take the 20% divided by 2. So in this case, it's 10% on either side. So just go ahead and fill this in, 10%, 10%. Guaranteed to have one of these on the test, okay? Guaranteed. So now that we have all the sections filled in, we start with the 80, we take that away from 100, we split that remaining part in half. Now we know that this is 10, this is 10. It could be decimals, just be comfortable with that. Now we can figure out this one here. Let's call this A, and this is B, right? So we'll figure out both of those parts. If you're asked to find an x value, we're going to use inverse norm. So for A, we're going to use inverse norm. And so if you want this one, you always want the percentage of values that would be below it, right, to the left. So for this value, it's 10%, so it's 0.1. Okay, basically, that is there. And we know our average, and we know our standard deviation. So we'll find that value shortly. Okay. For B, here's where a lot of students make a mistake. Okay, we'll use inverse norm as well. Not most. A lot of students just say, oh, it's 0.8 that goes in here. No. For this line, everything to the left would be what? 80 and 10, right? It would be 90%. So you got to go 0.9 here. And I will show that, okay? So let's just make a little diagram underneath it where we make our bell curve. Okay? And so for B, for this value right here, it is the 80 plus the 10, right? So combining those gives us that 90 that we need, followed by mean and standard deviation. So that's okay. So these are the important values there. You use inverse norm, right? By now you should know how to use it. And so you get 6.36 days. and 7.64 days. And now we can go up to our fill in the blank and properly answer this question. We'll say that 80% of the cases last between 6.36 days and 7.64 days, right? This is the ultimate goal, to figure out these two values. So this is 6.36 and 7.64 days. Okay. So 80% of our cases are found between those two x values. So it's done the same way every single time. Okay. I'm going to pause this here for a bit. I'm going to see if I can